Hello again, COP1000 students. I'm going to review assignment 8A I'm sorry, 8B. In assignment 8B, you're to ask the user to enter the number 1 or 2. Now in this assignment, if you do it right, they can only enter a 1 or 2. So after they enter a 1 or 2, go to step B. If they entered a 1, then you're going to ask them to enter a 3 or 4, and only a 3 or 4. If they enter the number 3, then you're going to print X 3 raised to the power of 3 times. Yeah, that equals 27, but I want you to let Python do the math. So basically, it'll be 27 x's across the screen. If the user entered the number 4, then you're going to print x 4 raised to the power of 3 times, which equals 64. So across the screen will be 64 x's. If they didn't enter a 1, then they're going to skip all of this and come all the way down to C, which means they entered a 2. Once they enter a 2, you're going to ask them to enter a 5 or a 6, and only a 5 or a 6. If they enter a 5, you're going to print the letter Z 5 squared times, which is 25 times across the screen, but let Python do the math. If they didn't enter a 5, then hopefully they entered a 6, and you'll print the letter Z 6 squared times, which is 36, but let Python do the math. Here's a little hint, and I'm going to move on down and actually show some of the code. Okay, comment header is always first, so there's my comment header. However you do it, name, date, and a small purpose statement. Everything should have a main. Here's where I define my main, and here's where I call my main. In this program, I am doing part A, which asks the user to enter 1 or 2. I'm going to use this special variable, which I'm going to call this is a flag variable. So a flag variable is used to flag when something happens. When my program runs, I don't know what the user does, but if they happen to enter a 1, 2, or something else, I'll use this variable to know whether the input was right. So I'm going to set my program up to prime my loop where bad value equals true. So while I have a bad value, I'm going to keep asking them to enter 1 or 2 until I don't have a bad value. First thing I do inside this loop is assume whatever they're going to enter is a good value. So then I get the number. I say, please enter 1 or 2. I don't know what they entered, but I'm asking for a 1 or 2. If the value is not equal to 1 and it's not equal to 2, then that's bad, and I yell at them. I set bad value back to true. I loop back up, and I stay in this loop forever until they enter a 1 or a 2. Once they enter a 1 or 2, I come out of this loop. I test to see if the value equals 1. If it did, then I'm going to be looking for 3 or 4. Same scenario. I use this bad value, set it to true. Well, it is a bad value. Assume it's good. Ask for a 3 or 4. Check to see if it's a 3 or 4. Stay in this loop until I get a good value. Now, once I get a good value, I leave the loop and I come down here. If it equaled 3 that they typed, I print X 3 raised to the power of 3 times. Otherwise, if it's not a 3, then it had to be a 4, and I print X 4 raised to the power of 3 times. If they didn't press a 1, then they pressed a 2. So down here, this is when they entered a 2 from above. They entered a 2. Now I'm looking for them to enter a 5 or 6. Same scenario. I'm not going to review that. If they entered a 5, I do this. I print Z 5 squared times, or 25. And if they entered not a 5, I know it's a 6, and I print Z 36 times. That's it. Let's watch it run. So when the program runs, the first thing it does is say enter a number 1 or 2. If they enter a 1, enter number 3 or 4. If they enter a 3, and there is my x's. That should be 3 to the third. What is that, 27 times? Next, I'll run it again. enter 1 or 2. What if they don't enter 1 or 2? What if they enter something like 4? Well, if they do that, they're going to be stuck in that loop. You enter an incorrect value, enter 1 or 2. Then make them stay in this loop until they do enter 1 or 2. So here comes the 2. Now they have to enter a 5 or a 6. If they don't enter a 5 or 6, they're stuck in the loop. Eventually, when they enter a 5 or a 6, it does what 5 or 6 is supposed to do. So the 5 is supposed to print Z 25 times. So hopefully that's 25 Z's. And I'll run it one more time. Let's get to the 6. So they press a 2, enter a 5 or 6, they enter a 6, and there we go, 36 Z's. I'll do it one more time. They press a 1, now there's my 3 or 4, I'll do a 3, and I think you get the point. Okay, that's all. I'll post this. Have a good day.